Try this quick quiz. Do you think we are more likely to change a society's behaviour with economic policies or social policies? Should people be rewarded based on things like risk and merit, or should people be nurtured and provided with support? Is it better to burn out than it is to fade away, or does slow and steady win the race? And when you wake up in the morning, do you put your right leg or your left leg through your pants first? When you ask people questions like these, with the possible exception of the pants question, and you listen carefully to the answers they give you, people will tell you their worldview. Once you know a person's worldview, you can make some fairly reliable predictions about where they stand on many other issues. More importantly, when we examine our own worldview, it opens us up to the possibility of other worldviews. It broadens and deepens our understanding and our wisdom. All life has the ability to move toward and move away. Life moves towards food and moves away from threats. As humans in the modern world, we can decide not only if we want to move towards sugar and protein and away from carnivores with sharp teeth, we can also make decisions, not always good ones, on whether to move toward a policy of economic rationalisation or to move away from products that were produced immorally. And at the base level, these decisions are still largely move toward and move away dichotomies. Now I can imagine that there would be some amongst us who would be howling angrily that we are far more complex than single-celled animals and that our experience of life is far more complex than a simple choice between two options on a dichotomy. Well, yes and no. Yes, of course, the decision to support a candidate at the next election depends on many variables. Their policy, the current situation, the fact that there are 3 people standing in the electorate, etc. And no, each of these decisions at some level comes down to a comparison between 2 things. You will compare candidates, you will compare policies. You will probably end up with a ranking somewhere where you've listed the 3 candidates from your first choice to your last choice, and each ranking decision will be the result of you playing one candidate off in your mind against the other. Well, the Genghis Khan party are much better than the recreational chainsaw users party, but neither as good as the best party I ever had in my life party. Even our answers to the major questions posed by philosophers throughout the ages will have at their root a response to dichotomies. What is, and where does what is come from? Questions like this will tell us whether you're an experientialist or whether you're faith-based. Where are we going? Are you an optimist or a pessimist? And I can hear some people saying, Rod, I'm not a pessimist, I'm just a realist. What is good and evil, and how should we act? Are you an idealist or a pragmatist? Throughout history, there have been attempts to define the ultimate truths and in an effort to build a logical reality on top of these unmistakable truths. And while these attempts have their holes, what remains true is that our attempts show the preference to see the world from the summit of a pile of dichotomies. So let's pull apart some of these dichotomies out from the pile and see how we can use them to increase our wisdom. Dichotomies come to us from the work of many different people. Clare Graves, Emile Durkheim, Carl Jung, O.E. Wilson, David Buss, Gerd Hofstadter, Jonathan Haidt, Myers and Briggs, William Marsden, Martin Seligman, and complexity increases exponentially when we overlay a few of these worldviews on top of each other. One dichotomy, of course, means 2 worldviews. 2 dichotomies means 4 worldviews. 3 dichotomies means 8 worldviews, etc., etc. This quickly becomes unwieldy. So let's pick 4 dichotomies that are perhaps common and quite central to making decisions about the challenges that we face, and see how each of the 16 different worldviews might look. The four that I will use are favourable, unfavourable. Do you see the world as largely being a good place and a good time to live, or do you look at the world and notice what is not favourable about the world? Indulgent, restrained. Do you think we should live now and enjoy, or should we save for a rainy day? Head, heart. Is it better to make logical decisions, or should we go with our heart? Active, reserved. Are we in control and therefore we should be out there and active, or are there forces greater than us at work in this universe and therefore we should be reserved? Now, if we take these four dichotomies and put them together, shown in a typical way, they might look like this. Sexy it is not.
Created using Powtoon.